always getting asked questions about polygyny. So we have a beautiful sister here that's going to connect.
Hello.
Peace to you, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. You know, I'm
All
excited to
right.
have you. Yo, it's an honor to have you on.
Really? It's an honor to have me?
That's a fact.
Thank you. I'm excited. I was like, oh shit. I hope you don't try to play me.
Nah, not at all. I can't do that.
How are
I
you
just
doing today since we have the 444 portal happening today?
extremely busy, extremely, and that's how it is. I think almost every single day since this year started, which is a good thing. So I'm not complaining, but I've been extremely busy. But I'm glad to have you on. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let these people know, our good brothers and sisters, where they could find you at ahead of time. Tell them how to find your name, then also put your name in the chat before we get to business. I just want them to know what it is that you do exactly
Okay.
and where they can find you. And then we'll get to
Okay.
work.
All right. Hold on. I need to know how to pin stuff down. So give me just a second. Um,
So while she's doing that, I'm gonna build with y'all. So today we're gonna have a conversation about polygyny, and I'm at her disposal for her to ask whatever questions she deems. She's into polygyny. She confides in that relationship paradigm, and what she's gonna do is probe my mind from my perspective or my family perspective as a collective, our family perspective as a collective, and we'll get it in.
Hey, how do I pin it down?
We'll also take questions from the chat room, but she's going to be driving the ship. She's going to be giving her input, and I think it's going to turn out amazing, you know. But
It
right now,
is.
I want her to be able to tell everybody what she does exactly. We'll get your name and everything up in there. Just
Okay,
let them
because
know
I'm
what you want.
struggling.
It's all
um,
good.
so I go by Solaris the High Priestess. I offer tarot and astrology sessions. I'm located in Austin, Texas, but I do readings online and just for people all over the world. I also have a podcast called Tarot Talk Live, and I just recently did an episode about polygamy. And I feel like I manifested this interview because I wrote your name down and I wrote the questions and I was like, I'm just gonna like ask him and see if he responds. So I was like super excited because I wrote it 2 days before I even messaged you. So I feel powerful and yeah.
Definitely are. You definitely are. So let's get it in. Let's get it in. Shoot away. I'm at your disposal. I want to
Okay.
be as consistent as I can live, but I also like shedding light on what the brothers and sisters that are out there on Instagram are doing. So when I see the radiant light, when I see the positive vibes and the energy, I always want to share the platform or share the page, share the stage, so that way uh, we can exist as a network of people. So those of y'all that's into the higher energies and the metaphysics, stay in tune because this is like a grocery store when it comes to consciousness, right? And when you go to the grocery store, there's several different products from several different companies within the confines of that one grocery store. So sometimes we kind of become complacent and we only want to shop with one company in particular, and that's okay. But let's go to the grocery store and let's see the plethora of products or things that are made available to us, and let's give it and let's give it some thought and see what's going on. So anyway, I'm highly interested in what you do. I see it manifest in your spirit and your energy and your attitude. So that's why I buy into it and I'm with it. You got my support, and
Thank
let's
you.
kick it. Let's get it in.
Okay, awesome. So I my view on polygamy or polygyny is I'm for it. On my last podcast, I had two other women that I was asking how they felt about it. And my understanding is when I bring any type of poly relationship up, a lot of women are definitely turned off by it and they only hear negative aspects about it. So my first question to you is what is the definition of polygamy and what's the difference between polygamy and polygyny?
That's a very good question. I'm glad you did that. The polygamy is a general interpretation of several people outside of a monogamous relationship working as a collective in a relationship. Is general. So it could be inclusive of any of a number of different types of arrangements consisting of men and women.
Right.
Polygyny, more especially and specifically, entails a relationship where there are several women to one man. That is
Okay.
polygyny. You also have polyamory, uh, and different arrangements, where there's several men to one woman, or you have the arrangement where there are just multiple men and multiple women all engaged. So polygamy, normally people conceive it to be exclusive to a man with multiple women, but polygamy encompasses all those different types of arrangements. But polygyny is when you're talking about one male to several women.
Right.
So that's polygyny.
Okay, so I feel like that's ignorance on my behalf because I was kind of just putting polygamy under, you know, basically everything. And I feel like I think I got some feedback about that because I was thinking that polygamy was when it was just the man who has multiple women.
Well, you're not wrong. It's just not
Okay, well,
limited
yeah,
to
it
that.
goes both
You're
ways.
not wrong.
Okay. Okay, so what made you consider living this type of lifestyle?
Well, I'll tell you this. As a male and the type of person that I am, I want to make it clear that my first wife, Aminetta Tumray, I love her dearly,
She's
and it's not a
beautiful.
matter. Oh, thank you so much. And it's not a matter of if she's not enough for me. That people say that they like to speak on my behalf instead of
Hmm.
actually ask me, how
Right.
I feel. And I understand that we were raised a certain way. So when you raise a certain way, most people's only reference for polygyny is pimping because that's as close as they ever seen it in this European culture.
Right.
Okay, so it's the only thing they can connect with. And if it's not that, it's like what seems more befitting for people's minds is to accept a woman with multiple baby daddies. I'm not castigating or condemning anybody, but it seems more socially acceptable if a man has multiple children from several women he's no longer in a relationship with, or if a woman has several babies by several fathers. That seems more respectable than being in a consistent relationship with several women with less children involved and pacing yourself. Okay,
Right.
but I just wanted to throw that out there. But ultimately, when you look at it, I got involved with the scenario because it had a socio-economical clause. In addition to the fact that as a male, I love the attention and the company, the affection, the
Hmm.
love, the support, and the energy of women. And the way I was taught from my master teachers, the way I was taught is that the women make you successful. If you know how to take that energy and convert it because they're internal beings and we're external beings. So you have sex as the activator, right? Or
Hmm.
the woman is the activator and the man is the motivator, or vice versa. Actually, the man is the activator and the woman's the motivator, right?
Hmm.
And so the energy, her as an internal being, when you give her your ideas, she can conceive it. She helps nurture it.
That's a
Okay,
fact.
that's the teaching and support of you. And if you multiply that type of support, I'm talking on a metaphysical level. I'll also go on a socio economical level. I'll go different levels with everybody. So it's not just, oh, he's spitting that metaphysical game. Because I know how a lot of people are. Once you start talking to metaphysics, they
Uh,
become reluctant to hear. They become apprehensive. So I
yeah.
get it. But since this is a question directed to me, I'm going to give you my answers from my philosophy, from my disposition. So women make men successful,
Hmm.
especially the likes of whom are very supportive. If the women in my world wanted me to be a reader, wanted me to be a writer, wanted me to be a teacher, henceforth I am. Okay. When I was commissioned to be that, when I took on that commission from my wife, I became what she conceived. In
Right.
fact, if I wanted to be a gangbanger, when I was a gangbanger, it was because the women whose company I was in, who I was doing everything for as far as attention is concerned and appealing to, I was made in the image and after the likeness of the women whose company I kept. So when I change the criteria of the type of women I would be around, and the women that I was around, changed their criteria for the type of man that they wanted in their presence, the combination created the world that I live in now. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? You feel me? So, and the way I was taught, in short, I'm about to go to the socio-economical aspect, but the way that I was taught in short is that the women make the men great.
Hmm.
Okay. And the women give the man his pride. The woman that make you go outside and take on 15 cats because one of them called her the B word just on the strength. You know, the men wear the jewelry because they want to be seen by women. They buy the nice cars because they want to be seen by women. I ain't never buy anything just for the benefit of being seen by one of my brothers. In
Right.
fact, most of everything that I've ever done that's materialistic has been to gain the appeal of the beautiful black woman. And
Right.
so, still on to this very day, it's just that the women that I associate with, the way it's easy to appeal to them is more on a sapiosexual level. So instead of uh looking to appeal to the women that I'm with nice cars and money stacks, is more of, yo, they love when I read and they love when I teach. So that kind of encouragement, that kind of zeal and that kind of enthusiasm that I get from the women that I'm around, who I
Hmm.
want to appeal to, they encourage my behavior. And I'm not afraid to say that because a man is going to be what the women want him to be. I don't care how alpha male you can tend to be. You could be as alpha male as you want on planet Earth. Okay. But you got it all twisted if you're not doing what you're doing to be in the image and after the likeness successfully of the women whose attention that you want to earn. And
Right.
so that's the world that I'm living in. Now, as far as socioeconomics is concerned, once we establish, okay, I'm a male and I want to be with multiple females because that's how I'm designed. I don't want to live a life where I got to hide. I don't want to live a life where I got to lie to someone and break their heart. I want to talk to a woman and be like, hey, it's just you and this is how we're going to live. All the while, it becomes culture for us to say that to a woman and then go out there and sneak when we could just kept it real
Exactly.
because it's billions of people on the planet. So there gotta be people that's compatible with me. There's idiots on the planet that find compatibility. Okay? There's people that like rough sex and like to be beat up and handcuffed. You know, I'm not with all that. But you know what? There's people on the planet that's with that. And
Hmm.
they could find compatibility. There's billions of people on the planet. So why would we force compatibility with people who don't share similar interests? So when
Right.
people say, hey, you know, that's just for you. That's, you know, you want to have your cake and eat it too. I say, my nigga, if it's my cake, why can't I eat it too? I don't never understand these kind of weird things people talk about. You know what I'm saying? How you going to tell me I want to have my cake and eat it too? Should I go around eating other people's cake? That don't make no damn sense. I'm going to eat my cake. That's a fact. So
You have a point.
in my world, I want to be around multiple women. In my approach towards being creative,
Hmm.
that's what empowers me. Some people are empowered by different things. Me being surrounded by women. I don't have to have sex with every woman. Just me getting
Right.
the attention of a woman. Like right now, I got your attention. That motivates me. That pumps me up. That makes me like, you know what? How did I get to this point where I got this beautiful woman's attention? Through being smart. So you know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to continue to be smart. So I can continue to get that drive, that motivation, that esteem, so I can be greater at what I do, just so I could be the benefactor of a smile or appreciation. Now, that's the first thing. First thing is this: I want to be with multiple women, and that's being honest. So the next
Right.
thing is, who are the women that don't mind? And what is their criteria for sharing a man, provided they're willing to? Okay,
Right.
so if I meet the criteria, if they say, man, you have the attributes of the type of male that I wouldn't mind sharing under such pretense, that's out the door. That's out the window. Because people say, oh, if it's about making money, then you could do that with this one or that one. I said, no, 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 slow down. First of all, it's a man saying, I want to be with multiple women. That's where I feel most comfortable. That's one. After we establish that, then the next conversation is, how can we make this effective? So how I make it effective is through a socio-economical means, a methodology that we employ, understanding that, yo, we can pool our funds. And then when we as a collective see above surface, see above the water, then we can collectively